So I've never really had a cool end base, and right now, this is what the end looks like. Pretty trash. So in this video, I'm gonna build an entire solar system of planets here in the end, with each planet being its own biome. So with all that said, the planet I'm starting with is going to be the Plains planet. So first things first, I'm gonna use some dirt and mark out where each planet will be. Okay, so that is every single planet outline made. I ended up switching them to cobblestone, by the way, because this stupid Enderman kept stealing the dirt. So the ground of the Plains planet is going to be made out of grass, but from the side, grass blocks don't look that good. So what I'm going to use instead of grass is going to be moss blocks, because from every single angle, they look like they have the grass texture, which will be perfect to cover this entire planet. But I only have like 2, so I need to farm some more. All right, that's over an entire shulker box full of moss. Hopefully that's enough. Wait, can Enderman pick up moss blocks? They better not be able to. All right, let's see how this moss actually looks on the planet. So I'd say besides all the dirt scaffolding, the moss is looking pretty good. Now let's gather all the blocks that we need for the actual decoration of the planet. So I want the planet to be decorated like one giant village is wrapped all the way around the planet. So to get the blocks for that, I can just tear down a village that already exists. And I think there's one just over this way, right over here. So I can pretty much just steal all of this. Okay, that's the entire village gone. It literally doesn't exist anymore. The only way you can tell there even was a village here is because of the paths. But there's still a couple more materials that that village didn't have that I need. So first, I need a few more stacks of oak leaves and a bunch of oak logs. And then I'm also going to want to build a few birch trees on the planet. So I'll grab some of these to be able to do that. And I'll take the logs to use too. I'll also need some grass. And that is everything that we need. So now we can build that entire planet. So let's get to work. First, I want to start building some villager houses. And the first one, I think I'll place right about here. The entrance going right here. So I'll replace some of this with cobblestone so that I can place the door right there and build up the other walls. There we go. And we can add a couple windows in here, swap the floor out for the wooden planks like the real village house, and then add the roof. All right, there we go. That's the first villager house done. But I don't just want one house. I want this place to be covered in houses. So I'll build another house right around here. And we'll finish it off with a torch and a door. And I want to add a little meeting spot right there with a bell. And a couple grass. And I want to add a couple hay bales around here too. And now I'm thinking back over here, I can put the first fake tree. So that is pretty much the planet for the top side. But now we have the sides and the bottom. And what are all these guys doing? Holding moss. I hate Enderman. So I can start houses here on the side of the planet. But obviously the problem with sideways houses like this, I can't place a door here. So I'm going to be using oak trap doors and putting them like that. So from a distance, it just looks like an open door. Let's give it a tree. There we go. Okay, so that is this side of the planet all finished. Now I have the 3 other sides and the bottom. And this place is looking sick so far. We just have the back and the bottom left to do. Oh. And so the house on the back is going to go right here. So that is the back of the planet. And now all we have left to do is the underneath. Whoa. There we go. But now before I call this planet done, I have one more final touch. And this dinner bone name tag is what I need for it. And this is what I need. There we go. Upside down pig, you're coming with me. And I'm bringing you with me in this hole. I don't like that I can see your udders. There we go. Okay, come here quick before this silverfish gets us. Can you fall in the portal, please? Yes. Okay. It's in. Now, we're gonna be so careful, right, Mr. Pig? Now, you're gonna stay here for now. And then I need to build a staircase up to there. Oh my gosh, the Endermen are already destroying the path. Okay, please come up the stairs. I really don't like how you're not using the middle path here that I made. Oh, Thank you. Come on, we're at the top, we're at the top, we're at the top. Okay, now if I put a fence here, and then if I just attach this, okay, it works, it works, it works. Now, in the upside down farm, we have an upside down pig. If that doesn't sell the illusion, I don't know what does. Everybody, subscribe. It's about time I pass Dream, let's be real. But with that, that is the Plains planet all complete. All right, so the next planet will go right here, and it's going to be the Deep Dark Planet. So to get a bunch of the blocks for a Deep Dark Planet, I need an ancient city. And the main thing I need from here is just these skulk blocks. Oh, come on. But that should be good for all the skulk. But I also want to grab a bit of deep slate and cobbled deep slate, and that should be good. We can get out of here. But that's not all the materials that I need. The skulk themed planet is going to be designed like a giant skulk shrieker. So to remake the details, like the souls inside the shrieker, I need a lot of glass and a lot of concrete. So I can gather a bunch of sand and get about a shulker box full of that. And of course some gravel to craft the concrete. Then I also need a bunch of black dye. And now I can smelt all this sand into glass. Now I can craft the cyan glass and the blue glass, and then the cyan concrete powder, and turn it into actual concrete. And that is everything, so we can now get to building the actual planet. All right, so the first step for this planet is to start from the bottom. So here on the bottom, I want to start out with a layer of normal deep slate. Just like this. So here, I'm gonna start making a gradient, and it will slowly transition from the deep slate to skulk. Just like that. That actually looks pretty good. So now that leaves us the task of actually turning this planet into one of these. I want to be able to replicate this thingy. So to do that, I need to hollow out some space in this planet. So the original cobblestone layer has got to go. And now we need the glass that we made. So you've probably seen this type of building technique before, but if not, it's a cool little trick with stained glass, where if we build a few layers like this with similar colors, just like that, you can see it starts to make a bit of a fog effect. But now that I'm at this layer, I need to add the actual little ghosties that are in here. And that's what the cyan concrete is for. I think you see the vision. I'm gonna do one more layer of the blue glass, one more layer of the cyan glass, and finally this is where the black stained glass comes in to really give it that darker tone. So that turns this into this. Ah! And now for the most important detail, these white little spikes. And those are gonna be made out of the bone blocks. So it looks just like that. And that's already looking pretty close to the actual shrieker, but we still have these little side details to do. And those will also just be made out of some bone blocks and some more cyan glass, and then make a gradient down to the birchwood. And now this planet is pretty much done, except for one final detail, those blue particles. I'm gonna build those with some cyan stained glass. So that was the final touch, and here's the big reveal. Boom, there we go. The Skulk Shrieker planet. With the overworld planet, this is looking awesome. And now it's time for the next planet, the desert. And the desert planet is pretty simple to get the materials for. The main thing I need is a bunch of sand and a bunch of sandstone. Are you serious? And then of course, a few dead bushes. And now for other desert details like a cactus, obviously I can't place these on the side of blocks, so I need a different solution for cactus on the planet. Instead of using this cactus to be a cactus, I'm gonna smelt it into some green dye and take that and dye a couple of my sheep. Because I think green wool will be a good replacement for cactus. If we take a look at it from far away, that could totally pass as a sideways cactus. So I gotta gather a few more green wool here, and I don't really need white sheep for that, so I feel bad I did that. Pretend it didn't happen. So now we can start building the actual desert planet. The entire planet is going to be covered in sand, but obviously since sand falls down, the bottom of the planet will be made out of sandstone, and then the layers on top will have the actual sand. Okay, so this is what the desert planet is looking like so far, completely covered in sand and sandstone. And before building the pyramid on the side here, I want to go around and place down the fake cactuses. So here on the top side of the planet, I can use real cactus, but on the sides is where we'll use the green wool. I'll also put a few dead bushes around as well. So that's how the base of the planet is looking so far. Pretty good, especially from far back. And now I want to start adding a few desert structures here on the planet. So on the top, I'm going to build one of the desert wells, which looks like this. And now the final structure is going to be a desert pyramid on this side of the planet. And the first step of the pyramid will go right about here. So that is the base square of the pyramid. And now I can make it look like an actual pyramid by stepping it in 1 block each time. So that is the base of the pyramid all finished. Now I need the entrance with the orange details, which I can start right about here and go right in front of the pyramid. The orange details are 3 blocks wide, which would make it look like this, which is a bit goofy looking because you can see it on the side. So to make it look a little bit better, I'm going to cover the side here in some smooth sandstone slabs. And so with that, that is the final desert planet. The pyramid turned out great, and so did the desert well. Great looking planet. On to the next one. This planet is going to be the Mesa planet. So here at the Mesa, I've got to gather a bunch of these colors here. First, I'll grab just the regular terracotta, and then some orange terracotta, and then some red and brown, white, yellow, light gray. And finally, the last item we need is a bunch of this. I'll dig somewhere else. The last item that we need is a bunch of this red sand to cook and craft into smooth red sandstone slabs. And that is every material that I need so we can start building the Mesa planet. So this planet is gonna be made up of the layers of terracotta just like we saw in the actual Mesa. So first I'm gonna start out with regular terracotta on the bottom and then a layer of brown. And now the rest of the colors. All right, so that is the halfway mark of the planet. It is looking pretty good so far and really looks like a mesa. So now let's do the second half of the planet. So there we go. That is the mesa, but there's one more detail I want to add to this planet. On the outside of the planet here, I actually want to build a ring of the smooth red sandstone slabs that will slant up at an angle like this. So this is the final look of the Mesa planet. This looks awesome. I love this one. So much color. And this is what the solar system of planets is looking like so far. And for the next planet here, it's the ocean planet, which means it's going to be completely filled with water and a coral reef. So start gathering. Okay, and I think this should be enough. Before I leave though, I actually want to get us a pet tropical fish. Oh, not you, that's a pufferfish. Like you. So inside the ocean planet, we can have our own little fish. The main other material that we need is some sand to cook into some blue stained glass. I need a conduit, which is crafted with 8 nautilus shells, and I have 1. So it's time for fishing. Okay, I'm overfishing. I'm trying another strategy to get the last 3 that we need. Drowned zombies can sometimes spawn holding a nautilus shell, and if they do, it's guaranteed that they'll drop it. Oh, I got a trident. Let's go. That's actually nice. And number 10. Good to have some extras, I guess. So now we can finally craft the ocean conduit. So this is everything that we need for the ocean planet, which means it's finally time to start building. This planet is going to be covered entirely in just blue stained glass. So it looks just like this. And now I can get rid of all this cobblestone here on the inside so that I can place down this ice to fill the entire planet with water. So that this is what the full planet looks like so far. From a distance, it looks just like floating water. And now that the planet is filled with water, I'm gonna have a tinier planet made out of smooth sandstone. But to make it easier to breathe and work in here, inside the center of the sandstone is where I'm gonna put the conduit. And then we can put the conduit right here. And there we go. Now we can fully breathe underwater here. Conduit power, baby. And now I can build the rest of the tiny planet around this conduit. There we go. So it looks like that so far. Water on the outside, sand on the inside. So now we can finally get all the coral placed down in here. And the first coral I'll place down is all the yellow coral. And now the blue coral. And now for magenta. And now red. And now pink. Okay, so this is all the base coral blocks placed down. It's getting kind of hard to swim around here. But now all these coral fans I want to place down. And some kelp, seagrass, and sea pickles. Okay, so that is all the coral and seagrass and kelp all placed down. I can hardly move in here. And now for the final touch to this ocean planet, I'm going to put a tiny little island here on the top. Oh, I almost forgot. Our little buddy. Now he has his home. Anyway, and I want to add a little bit of detail here in the island. So first, I'm going to add some stairs here. Fill them with water. So it looks like some of the water is kind of leaking into the sand here. And then I'll add a little beach towel. And then place these sandstone walls here. So it kind of looks like a little sand castle was built. And then for the final touch, I'm going to use these dripstones to build a palm tree with some jungle leaves here at the top. So it looks just like that. That is the final ocean planet all built. This one looks awesome. I love how colorful it is. So there's only 3 more planets left to go. And the next one we'll be doing is the snow biome. So one of the main things that I need for this snow biome is obviously snow. So I just got to sit here for like 100 million years and get a bunch of snowballs. Oh, there goes my shovel. But this should be enough. And this may not seem like enough snow for a snow planet, but that's because most of the planet is actually going to be made out of ice. And then I need to be able to build a bunch of spruce trees in there. So I need a bunch of spruce leaves and a bunch of spruce logs. And so that is everything I need. So it's time to finally start building the snow planet. So the entire bottom half of this planet is going to be completely covered in ice. And I want to add some icicles coming down here at the bottom as well. And then the blue ice is going to fade to the packed ice and then to regular ice. So that is the ice part of the planet all done. And now I want to cover it in a layer of snow. Just like that. Now we have all the details to add on. So first I want to add some spruce trees and cover them with some snow. And I want to add a few ice spikes to this biome as well. And there's one final thing I want to add to this planet, a sideways igloo right here, since that's pretty much the main snow structure. So it's going to start right here. Okay, there we go. Now there's a fun little igloo here. So that is the final snow and ice planet finish. This one actually came out a lot better than I was expecting. I love this one. And it's cool to look on the inside of the ice. So that leaves only 2 planets left to go. And the very next one we're doing is going to be a cave planet with amethyst geodes and a bunch of ores. So to get the materials I need for this one, I've got to hit the caves. So I can head over to my strip mine, and with my mining machines, I can get to work and start collecting a bunch of these ores that we'll need. Okay, so this is all the ores I have so far. It should pretty much cover the build with one exception. I want some deep slate emerald ore too. The only place to find this ore is in a mountain biome. So I've got to find one. Okay, this grove biome, I think counts as a mountain. So if I can just find a cave somewhere that leads me to deep slate. Okay, not deep slate like I need, but that's a good sign. Finally, here we go. Okay, there we go. That's 5. I'm going to call it good there. So now let's get out of here. So the final aspect of this planet is going to be an amethyst geode. I have quite a bit of amethyst already. So the only other thing that we need for this is basalt and calcite. And I should be able to get all that from here. Okay, that should be good. Okay, and now for the actual final step of material gathering for this planet. I need 7 blocks of each ore and a bunch of colored glass to match each ore color. So there we go. Okay, so the outside layer of this planet is obviously going to be covered in deep slate. Okay, so that's all the deep slate placed down, but obviously this is very gray. So this is where I'm going to mix in some of the ores that we got to add in some nice color. Okay, so that's how it looked with all the ores added in. Definitely looks way more colorful. And now I'm going to tear out chunks of this planet to build amethyst geodes in it. Okay, so this is how the cave planet is looking so far. We have an amethyst geode here, one here, and one here, completely surrounding the planet. But now for the final touch of this planet, I want to build a bunch of tiny planets around it based on each ore type. So the first one I'll place down is the little gold planet. They'll be tiny like this, with the blocks of ore in the middle, surrounded by glass of that color. So it'll look like that. So with the gold one done, let's do the rest. I can do emerald, lapis, copper, iron, redstone, coal, and diamond. So now with all of these tiny planets added, I want to connect them with some light gray stained glass panes so that it looks a little bit like you can see the outline of their orbit. And so that is the entire cave planet built. That looks amazing. I love these tiny little ore planets. It adds so much color. I can't decide now if this is my favorite or if the ocean was my favorite or the ice or the skulk or the plains. I can't decide. But we only have one planet left to go, and this is going to be the nether planet. It's going to show all 5 nether biomes all on this single planet. So this planet might require the most amount of materials, But the one that I need most of is just plain old netherrack. And I want some quartz ore and nether gold ore. And some magma blocks. And that'll do it for everything for the normal nether biome. Now for the warped biome, I need a whole bunch of these. What even are these? Warped warp block. Yeah, I need a whole bunch of these. And then I need a bit of these logs as well. And then some nylium. And then some shroom lights. And that will do it for the blue biome. And now for the red biome, I need a bunch of these nether warp blocks. And crimson wood logs. And crimson nylium. So that's everything for the red biome. Now for the soul sand biome, I need obviously a lot of this soul sand and soul soil and a bunch of bone blocks. And then the final biome left to get resources for is the basalt delta, where I basically just need a bunch of this basalt and also a bunch of blackstone. And that is pretty much everything that I need. So let's get to work. So this nether planet has probably the most intense terrain out of any of the planets we've done so far. So here on the bottom of the planet is going to be mostly the basalt delta biome. Okay, so this is what the basalt deltas looks like. Oh, I forgot a spot. Kind of hard to see, and there's a lot of scaffolding in the way, but hopefully you get the idea. On this section of the planet now is going to be the soul sand valley biome. And this biome is going to have a fossil in it, since obviously these are found in the soul sand biome. And so that is the soul sand valley done. So now we'll be doing a section of just normal nether biome, and I'll be mixing in a few of these ores just like that. And right in this section is where I'm going to put a lava pool, but obviously I don't want it all to spill out. So I'm going to cover it up with some orange stained glass. And then on the inside of the planet, I can dig this out. And now I should be able to just fill this thing up with lava. So there we go. That looks pretty good. And I also want to add a nether fortress. And this is what the planet's looking like so far. So much scaffolding around this one. It's definitely the most detailed planet I've done so far. But we still have the crimson and warped biome to add. And if I just use this crimson nylium as the ground, it would just look like this, which is not very good. So for most of the biome, I'm going to be using nether warp blocks like this, because from the side, they look similar to the crimson, which looks much better. So I'll do the same for the warped biome. So that's the blue side. And I want to plant some of the trees on this planet, but since they can grow at such random sizes, I've just got to build my own. And that is the final nether planet finally done. Look at that. So that is the entire solar system all built. This looks awesome. Subscribe or I'll delete your Minecraft account.